Mastering Rubric Design Strategies for Reliable and Valid Assessment, facilitated by Dr. Timothy Gadson. Welcome to this professional learning session, Mastering Rubric Design Strategies for Reliable and Valid Assessment. Throughout this session, we will explore essential concepts and best practices for creating rubrics that effectively assess student learning. Get ready to gain valuable insights and strategies to enhance your assessment practices and promote student success. Rubrics are structured scoring tools that offer clear expectations and guidelines for students, teachers, and evaluators, fostering transparency and consistency in assessment practices. They detail specific criteria evaluating various facets of student work, including content knowledge, organization, and presentation skills. By breaking down complex tasks into manageable components, rubrics clarify expectations and aid students in grasping what is needed for success. Moreover, they can serve as instructional aids, assisting students in self-assessment and reflection on their work. Imagine you're grading student assignments. With reliable rubrics, you can trust that your scoring will be consistent each time. This consistency fosters confidence in the assessment data you gather. Students benefit from a fair and equitable evaluation, knowing their work is consistently assessed. Validity is about ensuring your rubric measures what it's supposed to measure. You know you're on the right track when your rubric aligns closely with your learning objectives. Valid rubrics provide meaningful insights into student learning, offering a clear picture of their progress and areas for improvement. When your rubrics are reliable and valid, the assessment data they yield becomes incredibly valuable. It forms the bedrock of informed decision making, both for individual students and for instructional strategies. With reliable and valid rubrics in place, you can confidently tailor your teaching methods to meet the diverse needs of your students, fostering a more inclusive and effective learning environment. This connection to your students' needs can make you feel more engaged and impactful in your role as an educator. One hallmark of reliable rubrics is their ability to yield consistent scores, no matter who scores them or when the assessment takes place. This consistency is vital for ensuring fairness and equity in the assessment process. When different raters arrive at similar scores for the same work, you can trust that the assessment is reliable and unbiased. Reliable rubrics are crystal clear and specific about what they're assessing. They leave no room for ambiguity, providing students with clear expectations and criteria for evaluation. This clarity empowers students to understand exactly what is expected of them and what they need to do to achieve success. Reliable rubrics are carefully crafted to align with the learning objectives of a particular assignment or activity. This alignment ensures the assessment accurately reflects what students are expected to learn and achieve. When rubrics are closely tied to learning objectives, educators can trust the assessment measures the right skills and knowledge. Reliable rubrics offer detailed descriptions of performance expectations at each level, allowing for clear differentiation between levels of achievement. This level of detail guides assessment and feedback processes, enabling educators to provide targeted support and guidance to students. With reliable rubrics, students receive specific feedback that helps them understand their strengths and areas for improvement, ultimately supporting their growth and development. Ensuring validity in rubric design is essential to assess student learning accurately. Here are some considerations. It's crucial to align rubrics closely with curriculum standards. This ensures the assessed criteria are relevant and meaningful. Clear definitions of learning outcomes and criteria for each level of performance help maintain alignment and clarity. Next, rubrics should reflect the complexity of tasks being assessed. This involves considering the cognitive demands, depth of knowledge, and skills required to complete the task accurately. Furthermore, rubrics should measure the targeted skills and knowledge outlined in the curriculum standards, using clear and specific language to describe expectations and expected performance at each level ensures accurate assessment. Lastly, rubrics must regularly be reviewed and refined based on feedback from stakeholders. Engaging teachers, students, and other relevant stakeholders in the rubric design process promotes validity and fairness, ultimately enhancing the effectiveness of assessment practices. So let's review. In the process of crafting reliable and valid rubrics, several key steps are involved. First, we must identify the learning objectives the rubric will assess and define specific assessment criteria. These criteria should align closely with our learning objectives to ensure the rubric accurately reflects desired outcomes. Next, we develop descriptors for each level of performance, ranging from excellent to poor. These descriptors clearly guide what constitutes exemplary, proficient, basic, and below basic performance. Once the descriptors are in place, we pilot test the rubric and gather teacher and student feedback. This feedback helps us identify any areas of confusion or improvement in the rubric's design and implementation. Finally, we revise and refine the rubric based on the feedback and evaluation results. Continuous refinement ensures the rubric remains reliable and valid, providing a fair and accurate assessment of student learning. I encourage you to pause the video to engage in this reflection activity. Take a moment now to reflect on your experiences with rubric development. Consider the challenges you faced and the strategies you've used to create reliable and valid rubrics. Write down your reflections and insights in a journal or notebook. When you're ready, restart the video to continue with the session. Let's explore examples of reliable and valid rubrics used in education. First, we have the writing skills rubric. This rubric includes clear and specific criteria for evaluating different aspects of writing, such as organization, grammar, and creativity. It also features well-defined performance levels that reflect different proficiency levels, providing detailed feedback to students to support their growth and improvement. Next, we have the math problem-solving rubric. This rubric includes clearly defined problem-solving steps, strategies, and criteria for evaluating mathematical reasoning, accuracy, and problem-solving skills. It allows for differentiation by including multiple levels of complexity in the problems. Now, let's review the strategies that we've discussed for enhancing rubric effectiveness. First, clear and detailed descriptions are crucial. Providing clear and detailed descriptions for each level of performance helps students understand the expectations and criteria for each level. Next, alignment with learning objectives is key. It's important to align rubrics with learning objectives and curriculum standards to ensure the rubric accurately assesses the intended outcomes. Lastly, student involvement is essential. Involving students in the rubric development promotes ownership and understanding of the assessment criteria. Before we conclude, let's take a moment to reflect. Pause the video and consider the strategies that were shared today to enhance rubric effectiveness. Consider how these insights can be applied to your practice to create more reliable and valid rubrics. Reflect on your current rubric practices. How do they align with the strategies discussed today? What aspects of your rubrics could be improved to enhance assessment clarity, specificity, and fairness? As you reflect, consider the following action steps. Review your existing rubrics. Identify areas where criteria could be clarified or made more specific to align with learning objectives. Consider incorporating examples or benchmarks to illustrate different performance levels for each criterion. And then commit to regularly reviewing and refining your rubrics to ensure they remain reliable and valid tools for assessment. If you choose to pause the video while you reflect, be sure to restart it when you're ready to continue. Designing reliable and valid rubrics is not merely a technical aspect of assessment. It's a cornerstone of effective teaching and learning. As educators, our aim is to offer students fair and accurate feedback that fosters their growth and development. By adhering to best practices and integrating stakeholder feedback, we can ensure our rubrics precisely gauge student learning and provide valuable insights for improvement. Let's refine our rubric design processes to serve our students better and enhance their success in the classroom and beyond. Thank you for joining me today. If you found value in this presentation, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Stay updated with upcoming sessions on my channel, and let's enrich our journeys together. Please take some time to explore some of my blogs for additional resources and insights. The URLs are shown here.